Welcome back to another episode. I am Sticks. This is my best friend and co-host D-Lo, and we are Too Complex. We got some news for y'all today, man. But before we get into this controversy, make sure you hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss any of the bangers that we drop every single week. D-Lo, what's good with you, my boy? How was your week, man?
Man, the week was a little somber. Started out with bad news on the home front, but you know, as far as here in the house, everything was good. Everything was kosher. Hard work, working hard, busy. You know, the usual. But I want to send my prayers out to the Curry family, friends of the show. They lost the matriarch of their family earlier this week, so. Our hearts go out to them, praying for strength and healing as time goes on. I know you can't replace that. Those memories will always be there. The pain will always be there, but as time goes on, hopefully it's replaced with, all of the love that was built, the memories that were built.
For sure. Yeah, man.
What about you, though? How was your week?
Everything is cool. I mean, before I get into that, though, man, yeah. Curry family, man, I send my love, my condolences to the family. When you see them, tell them that I send my love and condolences to them. Again, like D-Lo said, you can't replace that, man. And if it's anybody who know who that feels, it's me, bro. So if you need to talk, you know where to find me. Hit me up. But definitely sending some prayers up for the family, man, because that's hard to deal with, bro. That's hard to deal with. But the week was interesting. The week was interesting, but. Definitely got some positivity out of it. Got a couple of wins this week with the job, and everything is looking like it's on the up and up, man. So things is moving, man. Things is moving. Other than that, man, Sam, job, life, same thing as every single week, man. Same thing as every single week, man. So,
and not to say that we boring, man, but we're a little seasoned in the game. And so some of the things that interest and thrill other people don't really interest and thrill us.
Been there, done that, man.
Yeah, we've seen it all, done it all, just about. I wouldn't say we've done it all, but we've done enough. We've experienced a lot in life and had some great times. And so now it's just kick back and chill and take care of what you need to take care of. That's where we are, I guess. But
Just to kind of feed into what D-Lo said, we ain't done it all because remember, crack is whack.
yeah, 100%.
You never touching that shit in my life.
Yeah. But I mean, all I'm saying is, we've had some great experiences in life. We talk about it for you all the time. You played professionally, and so you've had those experiences. What you did well in college, went to HBCU, which speaks for itself. We know about that experience. On the flip side, I went to a PWI, played in a major Division I college conference, had that experience, won championships and whatnot. Have friends that played professionally and, got to spend some time with them and experience it as a member of the entourage, so to speak. So, I mean, we've had our experiences, and so now it's just like kick back and chill, raise the family, make sure that they have the experiences they have. Speaking of kicking back and chilling and raising the family, I got a proud dad moment. It's amazing to see the ones that you raise get involved in the things that they're interested in and to excel and to put themselves out there in front of people, do things that you typically wouldn't have seen yourself doing at that age. So my daughter, she is an actress, so to speak. She's been in a couple of plays now. So last night she was in Beauty and the Beast. So she didn't have a major role this time. She's had a couple
you told
roles.
me about that. Yeah.
She's had some roles where she had a ton of lines. Well, I shouldn't say a ton of lines, but for her age, in the play scene, the theater scene, for her age, she had some lines. But I'm just proud that she gets up there and does what she loves to do. She's very dramatic, very sticks nose,
very
theatrical, and all of that in the house. So it's to see her on the stage doing what she loves I get emotional, man. Like every time she first comes out, I shed a little tear of happiness.
Little thug
It's
tear, little thug
yeah,
tear,
yeah. Well, it ain't no thug tear. It's a tear. It's
little
a dad
Vietnam
tear.
tear.
Yeah, it's
Nah, I
it's a
feel you.
dad
Yeah,
tear, man.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, I just I get so overwhelmed with emotion because, like I said, she's doing what she wants to do, what she loves to do. I feel like, and she's just showing a lot of courage.
Okay. Yeah, I like it, man. I wish I was there to you know what I'm saying, share it, because I would come and cheer on
Yeah.
DC like a mug. You know what I'm saying, man? Because I love seeing stuff like that too, man. Because I used to love whenever Sam played volleyball, man. It was like a proud dad moment. You know,
Right.
like D-Lo said, to go out there and see her do her thing, because Sam was so good, man.
Right.
So good, you know what I'm saying? She gave it up a little bit, which was a little bit tugged at the heartstrings a little bit, but you know,
Right.
you got to be a supportive parent and say, hey, if this ain't your passion, man, go for what you love, man. So, and she let it go, but it was such a powerful dad moment, and I wish I was there to watch it, man, because I would love to watch Niecy up on that stage. I know she go crazy.
Yeah,
I know she go crazy.
Yeah.
I know she be acting out because she right in her element with that. Bro. I know she
100%.
I know she is.
Before we get into everything, man, you heard about Marlon Wayans and the statement he made last week. I think it was
I didn't.
early this
What
week or
Marlon
last
say?
week. Marlon said he never got married because he never wanted his mother to be jealous. What you think about that?
That's a real thing, bro. I can see that. That is a real thing, because you have some women who, but that's crazy. They have so many kids, but because you would think it would be like, you know, single mom, mama's boy type of relationship, right? Like what my relationship was with my mom. I was the only child. You know what I'm saying? So that would have been that could have been something that I could have said. But for mama to say that is kind of crazy. But that's a real thing, though. Like, that's a real thing where mothers literally think that their sons are their husbands, or that they are the men in the house and they're the top woman, regardless of who else comes in their life. They feel like they need to be the woman of their life, like the number one woman in their life. That is a real thing, bro. Like, I've heard many women talk about that, bro. Like that the mom felt like she needed to sit in the front seat, need to get her plate first, need to be taken on dates before the wife and the kids need
on
to be put
dates.
ahead.
Come on,
yes,
man.
bro. Like, I've heard this, bro. I've heard, because I'm into. I listen to a lot of the relationship kind of like side of YouTube and the quote unquote manosphere, red pill, blue pill, whatever. I listen to some of that stuff just to get some ideas and see what people are actually out here talking about. Not that I subscribe to either one, but I feel like I hear it a lot from women that like mothers are sometimes insane with that, bro. What do you think about it, dog?
I mean, listen, I'm a mama's boy through and through, right? Like,
sure,
I love my mom to death. She gets on my nerve. Yeah. 100%. Yeah.
100%. But go ahead,
for you. But no, you good. But I love my mom to death. Sometimes she gets on my nerves, but I love her to death. But even being like mama's boy, I'm not a mama's boy. You know what I mean? So
right.
My mom will understand and has understood, like, you're not my woman. I'm not your man. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, I'll do what I can for you. I'll be there for you. I don't want you to feel jealous or whatnot, but I got to do what I got to do. I got to do me. I got to do what makes me happy. And being married to my wife for 4 years now, about to be 4 years, and been in a relationship with her for 8 years. I mean, I'm sure my mom felt some type of way about it, especially going through what she had gone through a couple years ago. But I mean, I don't know. I know it's a real thing, but to me, it's not something that will keep me. And this is my experience. I can't speak for other individuals. Obviously, like Marlon said what he said, but I can't allow something to keep me from being happy, just because I don't want to upset my mom. You know what I mean? Like, like I said, I love my mom to death, but if I'm not going to be happy, then what am I doing? You know what I mean? My thing is, I always say, you got to take care of you first, no matter what relationship it is. It's a friendship, if it's marriage, if it's your mother, because they made sacrifice for you and you want to respect that. And I respect that. And I do. But I wasn't put on this earth to put everybody else before me. Like, I'm respectful of other individuals, but I also got to do what's good for me as well, or at least try to do what's best for me. And if it doesn't end up working out in my favor, okay, just take the lumps and move on. But I don't know, man. To me, that statement kind of, when I read it, I was like,
it is strange, bro. It is strange because it's one of those things that is a real thing, bro. But like you said, you got to make yourself happy, bro. But it's also,
and maybe that makes Marlon happy. His mom happy, he good. I don't know, but.
Maybe, but it's one of those things too where he's in the industry. He's an actor. He's a writer, producer. He might also not have time to actually settle down too. And then, you want to be able to give as much time as you can to your family as well. So that could play a part of it as well. But for him to make that statement,
yeah,
I can see that. Because it's a lot of mothers out here that make it seem like they're the head of the household regardless of they are, if he's single, you know what I'm saying? Like he can do those things, but you got a wife and kids, you got a family. Mom, I love you, I respect you, you know what I'm saying? Right. I'm gonna make sure you taken care of and this, that, and the third, but I got a wife, I got a family to take care of. You now you in the back burner. I've done what you
not the back burner, but you know what I mean.
But you're not the top of the priority.
Yeah. I'm with you.
You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you brought me into this world. You made sacrifices for me. You've done these things, and I'm gonna always respect you, love you, and make sure you good. But my wife is now here. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I feel. But there are men and mothers that are. I've heard stories, bro. It's crazy. It's crazy.
It's crazy. Nah, I don't know how it is, but whatever. Another thing, and we don't speak politics on this show much.
Yeah, we try to stay away from it for sure.
Yeah, we try to stay away from it. But have you heard of?
Oh Lord,
this is funny. Have you heard about Trump?
I've heard some things that I don't know which way you going with this. What we got?
What you think? What you think I'm gonna say?
I don't know.
Okay,
get into it.
So apparently, they say Donald Trump wears diapers and he has a peculiar odor about himself.
Oh, I can see that.
and so
I didn't hear that.
With all of this coming out, I think it started. It's been said in the past years or so, but it's really like come to a head in the recent weeks because he's on trial and whatnot. And so they say it's a peculiar odor in the courtroom, and they say Donald Trump be in there itching on himself. So the Republican supporters have kind of like try to spin the narrative in support of that, and so they have like a lot of slogans coming out now. Real men wear diapers. They wear golden diapers to rallies and whatnot. So I mean, what do you think about that? Because I mean, I really shouldn't say what do you think about it. All I'm gonna say is we going in November. We're gonna have two old niggas competing over who's gonna be the president. One can barely remember his name. The other one is pooping on himself. What is going on in America, bro? We can't put nobody else. We can't get nobody else to step up to be the president. We got these two choices.
At this point, bro, I would much rather come out and be the damn president at this point. I ain't gonna lie, but it's one of these things where, man, like I'm gonna give a hot take real quick. As much of an idiot, as much as he came off as a baby, whining, complaining, talking shit, all his persona was terrible. I think a lot of people can, I won't say a lot. I think some people can agree that Trump wasn't a bad president as far as the things that he put in place and some of the things he tried to do. Yeah, we got the scandals and, how he, the votes and all the things that he said, grab her by the, the Virginia, water park, grab her by the Virginia water park and all these other things that he was talking about, cussing out reporters, and just his persona was cheeks. You know what I'm saying? But as a president, he was okay. You know what I'm saying? This Biden, I don't know if he can't remember his lines, if he gonna fall asleep at the podium, I don't know what's going on with that dude, but he can go. low. He can go. But to come out with a slogan of real men wear diapers, this ain't the color pink, bro. Like you can't come out with a slogan like that because they had the slogan "real men wear pink." Nah, dog. Like that's not cool. That's not hip as this. You know what I'm saying? That's not cunty as the kids would say. But
you had to slide that in there. That's crazy.
To slide it in there. I had to slide it. I wanted to see your reaction. I wanted to see
you had to slide it in there.
But nah, man. We need to find, because wasn't Obama the youngest president?
Nah, that was Kennedy, JF Kennedy, I want to say.
Oh, he was the okay. I know I know.
And I don't know. Listen, and if I'm wrong, don't roast me in the comments. Don't roast me, whatever. But I think it's JF Kennedy, but I don't know presidential history.
Roosevelt was president at 42.
Teddy Roosevelt.
Okay, he was president at 42. And I think Obama was president at 46, if I'm not mistaken. But
okay, what was Kennedy then?
Age 46.
Okay,
he was 46. But yeah, so yeah, Roosevelt was president at 42. But yeah, man, we do need. I think along with some of the administration and some of the tactics that they might put in place, we need somebody younger in office. We don't need nobody in the 70s or in the 80s in office, bro. Like I think and I also think that there should be a age limit to how long you can be in government, if we being completely honest. But
you talking about all the other positions? Because I have a different feel about that, honestly.
What do you think?
I mean, as far as all the other positions, yeah, I feel like it needs to be an age limit, because, you get old views in there, and if they can stick it out until they're on their deathbed, then the progression of the country doesn't realistically change until it's voted out. Right? Because you have let's say you have the elder statesmen in Congress and Senate and all that right now. Those are the ones that actually get the laws put in place. Those are everybody talk about the president, but the president really doesn't. He has the veto power, he has the signing power. Yeah. But realistically, those individuals that's in Congress, that's in Senate, those positions, the
House of Representatives.
Not the House of Representatives. I don't know why I'm drawing a blank right now. The judges, Supreme Court. I don't know why I can't think of that. Yeah, Supreme Court. Those individuals, they're the ones that actually get laws in place and uphold the laws and all that stuff, right? But if you have elder statesmen in there, people in their 60s and 70s, you got to think about it. These individuals was around when segregation and all that was getting popping. You know what I mean? Yeah, and so they hold those views. You would think like they don't now, as we're in 2024 and we're somewhat removed from that. But that those thoughts and feelings still get pulled in. So I feel like after a certain time frame, yeah, you should be ushered out. Because let alone you get reduced healthcare for a lifetime, all that. So you get all these benefits for being in that. Yeah. So yeah, just move aside, let some new blood get in there, some new thoughts and ideas, because the fibers of the country change.
True.
Throughout the time. You know what I mean? It doesn't the same. And if you're trying to maintain everything as it was, then you run into issues. But as far as president is concerned, though, I think instead of 4-year terms, it should be actually 8-year terms. And you can get 2 of them. Because for me, and my wife argues this all the time. She's like, well, what if you get one that sucks? Then you stuck one for 8 years. But realistically, none of the changes that are done in the 4 years really go into effect, and really you actually see the fruits of the labor,
or the fruits of the labor,
or the benefits from it until after they're gone. And then it's like
the next person can decide whether or not to keep it going or not. Yeah.
Right. Or the next person gets the ability to benefit from what was done before them, or to get ridiculed for what was done before them. And so I feel like it should be 8-year terms, because realistically you don't see any outcomes until after the 4 years. But I mean, that's just my opinion. And like I said, we don't talk politics, but we do have our
maybe
thoughts and opinions on something.
Maybe a 6-year term. But
I think it should be 8, but whatever. 8.
Yeah. Either way. But yeah, it's but see, this is another thing too. Then, and not to go too long on this. I know I understand. Trying to. I agree with your point that the Supreme Court, House of Representatives, Senate, all of that, they should have some age limits on that. But how progressive do you really want the government?
I mean, I don't want it to be progressive.
But that's what I'm saying. But
it needs to be a happy medium.
No, I understand what you're saying though, because you do want the nation to progress a little bit more than what it's progressing now. You don't want to have those old ideologies to stick into government. I agree with that. But if it's more progressive and it gets younger and younger and younger, that I ain't gonna lie, bro. that might not be. I don't know. It's just so many different things in society right now that's going on that I don't necessarily agree with. And if you get a lot of that into the government,
well, I mean,
bring the media, bro.
We all can agree that government shouldn't be as overpowering as it is. But there needs to be, again, it's a happy medium, and you get rid of one thing, you bring up another issue or whatever the case is. So obviously that's not a well thought process that I just said there as far as getting rid of or having an age limit, but you get the drift of what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say we need to have all fresh young blood in there all the time. 21-year-olds out here making decisions for what goes on in America. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it needs to be a happy medium. And just like they try to force you to retire when you get a certain age in the private sector, the public sector, same thing with that.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I see what you mean. But
all right, so you ready to get into it?
Man, let's go ahead and get into the show, man. Y'all ready for this? Come on, man. Y'all don't worry. Go ahead.
All right, man. So it looks like Diddy did it. Shocking 2006.
Did he do it? He did it.
Diddy did it. Shocking 2016 surveillance footage of Sean Diddy Combs attacking then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in a hotel hallways was released yesterday. In the video, you can see Combs walking down the hallway covered in only a towel, trying to catch up with Cassie before she gets onto an elevator. From there, the images display a monstrous behavior of Diddy attacking Cassie, kicking, slamming her to the floor, throwing things at her, so on and so forth.
It's insane, bro.
So, Sticks, is this further proof that the many allegations currently circulating about Diddy are true?
Boy, Diddy a demon, boy. Like, it just whenever I first saw this, dog, because of course, everybody knows Homeland Security done raided his crib, and even his son done came out with I don't know if you heard his son's diss track that's talking about 50, but his son came out with a diss track in the midst of all of this stuff, came out with a diss track and low key self snitched, talk about they raided the crib, but they forgot about the house across the street. Why would you say that? But either way, I think
before you get into that, hold on, I'm sorry to interrupt. What is it, like diss track season or something? Like, did we designate 2024 to be, you're gonna put out a diss track when you got an issue with somebody?
I guess so, bro. Because everybody,
cats on YouTube putting diss tracks against each other.
Yeah, I saw that somebody put a diss track on Boxhill.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about this later. Shaquille O'Neal put a diss track against daggone Shannon Sharpe. We already know about the Drake, Kendrick, Metro Boomin, Future, all them individuals putting out diss tracks in the hip hop industry, and now this, like, what's going on? Oh, and let alone Ludacris put a diss track out against daggone Cat Williams early to start the year. Cat Williams started all this, bro. And Cat Williams did all this. He started 2024 off with, all right, I got issue with this person. It's been a year of the truth, and now we are here, and it's only May. I'm scared to see what
May
the rest
has been the year of the truth. May has, I mean, 2024 has been the year of the truth, bro. It's only May, and we can only imagine what's going to come out in the next 7 months, bro. Like,
my goodness,
like legit, it's going to be crazy. But back to the Diddy. because this is just further evidence, bro, that a lot of the things that people said about Diddy and all the allegations that's going on about Diddy are true, bro. But people knew this. Like, people knew. Like, there's been so many talks about Diddy and so many allegations against Diddy from a lot of people in the game. Like 50 Cent 10 years ago was calling out Diddy for being on Breakfast Club, calling out Diddy for being a little fruity. You know what I'm saying? And you got a lot of people, bro. So watching the video, and I'm gonna take a step back real quick because we did a segment on this earlier in the year, whenever all the allegations came out, whenever Cassie took him to court, or was trying to take him to court. He ended up settling quick. But I made a statement that I still stick by.
And we see now why he settled so quickly.
No, we do 100%. But I still stick by the statement that I said, because I would much rather the victims of this abuse come out earlier than decades down the line. I would much rather it happen that way. I would. I know it's hard. And I know it's something that you're going through and it's traumatic. I understand that 100%. I'm not insensitive to the situation. Please trust and believe that. But situations like this with somebody that has so much power and so much control over a lot of different situations, so much money and so much influence, to be able to pay somebody $50,000 to get the surveillance footage and not put it out to the public, that's power, bro. So you can kind of understand the turmoil and the trauma that Cassie went through with this situation. Like, it's so many more allegations that she went through, but just to see this, her trying to get away. First of all, to say he blacked her eye in the hotel room before she even tried to escape, runs down the hallway, tries to leave. He chases after her, throws her to the ground, grabs her bags, kicks her a couple of times, drags her across the floor. She grabs the phone. He come back, threw her in the corner, throwing vases at her. Like, this is only a small tidbit as to what actually happened. And if you ain't seen it, we'll put the video in the description box below. But yes, bro, like, Diddy a demon, dog. And it's about time for him to go ahead and meet his demise. I ain't gonna say demise. I mean, I say that. He need to go ahead and get arrested and go to jail for the rest of his life, bro. Like, legit. Because if this is just one of those things where it's like, bro, you can see in clear 4K that the type of demon that he is. And even Cassie put in her report, this was after a freak off. So this is the night after a freak off, and he just got real intoxicated and went crazy. So, bro, like, and whoever is this, and this is in 2016. So whoever the workers were on this day are responsible for this, bro. Like, they have some responsibility to report this because it's on your surveillance camera. So you have some responsibility to report this, and you whoever took that 50K, you need to be held accountable as well. But yeah, man, Diddy, it's about that time for them to go ahead and get, bro. Wherever he hiding out at, find him, because he like Bin Laden right now. Bin Laden, he been hiding. That's what Diddy been doing. He been hiding.
But has he really though? I mean, he been posting and whatnot on Instagram and different social media outlets. And
they need to find the IP. That's what they need to do. Whoever's in your cybersecurity and your surveillance in Homeland Security, find the IP wherever he is and go get, bro. Because it's about time for him to go ahead. He is. They just trying to, but Homeland is always gonna build their case. They're gonna dot their I's, cross their T's, and they're gonna make sure that they got everything together before they actually come down with a conviction or arraignment. But
they said they can't do anything about this though, because it was in 2016 and it's past the you know what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, and she already took it to court and it's already been settled. So there's really no, but this is just further evidence though. Like, they can still be used as evidence, and they can still go back to that case and use, verbiage from those documents to say, okay, yeah, I bet, and this is footage from that. You know what I'm saying? So they can still use this in the case, but at the same time, yeah, bruh, go get Diddy. Go get Diddy. You got Orlando Brown saying a lot of people been talking about it. Orlando Brown saying that he gave him the oochkashku wash. Like, you guys, you know what I'm saying? Like, Diddy, he's a really freaky boy, man, I'm telling you. Don't take home the mama. Like Gucci said.
Wow, you went there, huh?
Don't take home the mama.
Old Gucci.
We old Gucci on him, man. But yeah, what you think about this whole situation, brother?
I mean, I think as far as the allegations, the other allegations that are out there, is you kind of like it's yes and no. Like you do believe this further proves those allegations, but it's like no, not really. The reason that you do believe it is because Cassie, when all of this came out, and as we mentioned, when Diddy quickly settled, in that statement that she made multiple statements about the activities that Diddy was involved with. The abuse was just one of them, right? And then people called her liars, like she's lying, she just wanted money, whatever, so on and so forth. Turns out that now that we're seeing the video evidence, that is true, right? Yeah. And so if she said that and that turned out to be true, you can only say, well, if that was true, then everything else is more than likely true. But the reason I say no is because we don't truly know until it does come to light that he is involved in this stuff. I mean, you could pretty much assume that is true, but we would be making asses out of ourselves if we did that, rather than just, wait until it all comes out, until he's proven guilty. In America, is innocent until proven guilty, not guilty until proven innocent. And so I feel like with that being said, you got to kind of sit on both sides with it. Yes, he more than likely did it if you're basing it off of everything that Cassie disclosed in that statement back in, when was that? It was that January? That was start of the year, wasn't it?
It started. She put the case. She opened the case in November, but he settled it was late last year.
You're right. So if she made all that, said all that back then, and the abuse portion of it is true, you can only imagine the rest of it is partly true as well. I mean, let alone when she made the statement, again, I want to harp on, he settled so quickly. And you and I both were like, he settled that quick? Yeah, all right. So, I mean, but, dog, this is why we should not idolize any of these people that, we look up to or that we admire their music or whatever they do that makes them who they are, that give them the status that they have, because we don't truly, I say this all the time, we don't truly know these individuals. Like, they get the public face that they show us is what they show us, but we don't know who they really are on the inside. We don't know them intimately, so to speak. And I say pause literally for this situation.
I know what you meant.
But you know what I mean? We don't like I don't know that person. Like, I don't know them like I know you. I don't know them like I know my sister or my brother, whatnot. So like, this is what gets us in trouble. And this is why so many instances of cancel this person, cancel that person, because they showed us what we thought was to be a great person or what we felt we could get behind. And now it's all stripped from us. Our childhood, bro. The people that we looked up to from our childhood, it's like, oh my God.
Oh my gosh, what it's insane.
We even have a true childhood for us? And it's crazy. That's a true statement, bro. We grew up in the 90s, early 2000s, when we really like started to grow up and be able to start, putting together our own personalities and started to follow different trends and trying to really seeing what the world is like. And it's a lot of stuff that we talked about on this podcast. It's a part of our childhood that has been so scarred, bro. And like, but that's what makes us who we are, is when we're able to take different bits and pieces from our childhood and say, this was right, this was wrong, and be able to move forward from it. And just take the influence that is positive and put it towards your life. You ain't really gotta, because that's what I say about a lot of things, man. You can separate the man from the artistry. You know what I'm saying? Right. Diddy has done a lot for the hip hop game. He's, you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that I agree with what he's doing, but as far as music, as far as, you know what I'm saying, hip hop culture, as far as a lot of different things, man, Diddy has done a lot for the hip hop culture, and a lot of things that we grew up on, Diddy was a part of that. But we got to be able to separate. Again. Yeah, but we see what I'm saying. But we got to be able to separate that from the person. And we know the person is bad. So if the person is bad, then we got to put the person where he need to be, which is in jail. Mm-hmm. But we can still appreciate the artistry that he put out. You know what I'm saying? So
but yeah, it's been a lot of things. Then you got a video that done came out where he's snatching everybody's phones up before they get on before they go to another one of these free calls. So it's like, bro, like which I can look at and say, okay, NDAs, things like that, cool, but yeah, bro. But all the allegations, that's something that you don't want to see Diddy doing. Not gonna lie.
I mean, but you hit it on the head. The NDAs is how they protect themselves. It's how they get to get away with a lot of stuff. It's how they hold the power over individuals, along with the money that they can provide if something comes out that paints them in a negative light, or might change the views of individuals for them. So, but I mean, let's go back to what you said earlier. $50,000 to basically give them damning evidence of you. I mean, listen, you're gonna give me a lot more than $50,000, bro. And
I'm probably still gonna snitch.
Yeah. Oh, you would snitch. So we was talking about Stephen A. Smith last
week. I was on your side last week, but but last week it was like it's different because I don't want to be a part of something that's gonna damage somebody else's career because of what happened on the court. Now, if this right here is damning. Like this is like disturbing. Like I'm like, nah, 50. Fuck your 50.
He a coward for that.
But nah, Diddy, fuck your 50,000, bro. I'm telling on you, bro. And I would tell Diddy to his face. He probably gonna send his goons later, but he gonna get what he deserved. I'm not taking your 50K, bro. No, because 50, I see you beating up on this. I'm seeing you beating up on this woman in my hotel hallway, and I'm the manager here. And if this come out that I could get bro, you gone, cuz. You
50,000.
50,000.
That's all you. Realistically, that's all you felt you needed to offer me in order to get rid of that evidence. Are you serious?
Are you stupid?
Like, first off,
are you stupid? Or
first off, if you willing to bet jeopardize who you are in this world, your status for just $50,000. Boy, you saying a lot about yourself, honestly. Secondly, you telling me you only value my silence for $50,000? Boy, if you don't get on somewhere, like nah, you gonna it's
nowhere close to it.
At minimum, it's gonna be 7 figures. At minimum.
If you really want me to shut the fuck up, you gonna have to give me more than 50K. You gonna have to give me at least.
And then, like you said, even with that, I'm gonna find a loophole to where it's gonna get out some type of way.
Because I'm pretty sure they found this evidence in the house that they raided.
Right.
So if this is there's got to be far more disturbing stuff in that crib that they got. So and that's basically what they ran down for was to make sure they got the evidence, find the surveillance, find footage, find anything that shows him doing the things that people are doing. People are saying he did. So yeah, it's about that time. So
yeah, it's about to get crazy.
Security, go get him.
It's about to get crazy for sure. I think because if some type of real blowback and legal action comes from this, which they say it can't, but if some type of legal action comes from this, I'm sure he's gonna probably start telling on everybody, telling whatever he knows about XYZ, especially people that haven't supported him through this, that he thought was in his corner.
The only one that's really been supporting him is Stevie J. And he part of it. For the way I feel, he's been a part of the free calls for some years.
So it's about to get bloody out here for real.
It is about to be medieval times out this joint, and deservingly so, because Diddy need to go ahead and get him out of here. Because it
ain't gonna be just him that we know. I'm sure
it's gonna be a couple more.
Yeah.
Carisha. She going to that podcast that you don't won them award shows because of Diddy for the past couple of you going to because you got a lot of them gonna be gone. A lot of they're about here.
All right, man. So Shaunie Henderson, better known as Shaunie O'Neal, got a lot of blowback last week with the release of her memoir, Undefeated: Changing the Rules and Winning on My Own Terms. That went on sale last week. In it, Shaunie writes, "Looking back, I don't know that I was ever in love with the man. Naturally, this drew criticism. Even getting a response the next day from Shaq saying, "I understand. I wouldn't love me either." Sticks, how do you feel about this admission from Shaunie in her book?
So I gotta kind of watch how I talk about this topic because of my old lady. I don't know how she feel about this when you have a conversation about this, but I hope that she is. I hope that I know my lady enough to know that she would understand why I feel the way I feel about this. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And if you're watching, babe, this is just how I feel. We can have a conversation. Now, first of all, shout out to Shaq for taking accountability for the things that he did, because he had said in his book that he was out here wilding. He did say in his book that he was out here wilding during his marriage with Shaunie. And Shaunie did put up with a lot of things that she shouldn't have had to put up with. You know what I'm saying? From your husband, from the father of your kids, this, that, and the third. Here's where I fall on this. What you marry him for? What you had 3 kids with him for? If you ain't love this man. What is the real reason, Shaunie, why you married him? Because we all know Shaq as the most dominant player, which I got something to say about that too, but we'll get to that in a little bit. We all know Shaq as one of the most, undisputedly the most dominant player in NBA history. Mm-hmm. Multiple championships, $1 million contracts, MVPs, NBA championships. Shaq is the most undisputed, undeniably the most dominant basketball player in the history of the NBA. I'm tiptoeing a little bit, D-Lo, but I'm trying to find the words. But why did you marry this man then? Because if you ain't love him, why did you marry him? Why did you even put yourself in position to be married to Shaquille O'Neal? Not only that, why did you put yourself in position to have 3 kids with this man? What was it for? I think we probably know. But what was it for, though, Shaunie? Like, you said you didn't love him, but you didn't say why you married him. Because that information would probably paint you in a negative light. Mm-hmm. Like, that's the thing I don't understand is that, and then not to mention he put you in position to have successful businesses, basketball wives, things of that nature, to where you can strive and survive on your own, because you ain't have all this before you married Shaq. So what's the reason then? Not only did he put you in these positions, he took your son that you had prior to y'all getting married and took him in as your own. He called Shaq his dad and gave him the last name O'Neal too. So why you marry him if you ain't love him? I think we all know the answer to that. But D-Lo, how do you feel, bro?
I have issue with this. It always seems like women. I hate that we have to tiptoe, but I'm not going to tiptoe. It always seems like some women. It always seems like women in this position become famous after attaching their name to a man of status, and they do things like this. They go out, start a business. As you mentioned, she executive produced Basketball Wives when it first came out. She was the spearhead of that. She has other ventures that have come with this, and then once they get their money, once they become successful, shit like this comes out where they just, I don't think I ever loved him, or he was this, he was that. And notice I'm not saying that they didn't do the hard work to maintain the business. I'm not saying that they didn't do anything to keep the business afloat, and they're not the reason that the business is successful. I'm not saying that the women should have stuck around with the men as they were doing all of the dirt that they were doing. As you said, Shaq admitted to his infidelities in their marriage and whatnot. I'm not saying she should have stuck around with that. But when you say stuff like, I don't think I ever was in love with the man, that makes you seem like a gold digger.
For sure.
Point blank, period.
Point blank,
period. And she came out after all of this and she said, there is some validity to what she said. We probably need to actually read the book to get more context into what she actually meant by that statement and the message she was trying to convey by saying this. But she said, my book is my truth, And when I was talking to my friend yesterday, I was like, developing an opinion and a comment from content with no context will show you a lot of people's intelligence and unintelligence, right? There was no context to just that one quote that I said. And I think that sadly, people are taking my words out of context.
No, we're not.
Hold on. I'm a words girl. I'm not a words girl. I'm a character girl. And since I've left the marriage from Shaquille, my character has spoken for himself. You're a words girl, but you say stuff like this in a book that you're trying to sell to people. You're not a words girl, but you say stuff like this in a book that you're trying to sell to people. Let's be serious here, Shaunie. Realistically, you should be able to proofread that and say, now, is this really what I want to say?
Exactly.
Because it don't, being that you were married to Shaq for 9 years, being that you were in this position of understanding how clickbait works, especially in today's day and age, you should know that anything that you put in a book of this magnitude or that you say in an interview is going to be clickbait number one or excerpt number one from that book, from that interview, and people are going to spin it how they want to spin it. So you should have never said that, period. Now, if you feel that way, you feel that way.
For sure.
That's not something you should be saying publicly or writing in a book, because people are going to naturally say, oh, well, you divorced Shaq, you got half of his money. He paid $100,000 a month for child support and $5 million a year until you got married or until you got the equivalent of $100 million. And then you say you never loved him. That makes you look like a gold digger. It just makes you look crazy, man. I'm sorry. And I always defend women. I defend women, but in this one, I can't. This is indefensible. I can't defend that statement. No matter how you try to spin it, no matter what else you said behind it, that you were in love with being with the man that you had kids with and building the future with you. All that's fine and well, but you said you were never in love with him. How you think the man's supposed to feel? How you think the public is supposed to take that?
Exactly how people are taking it. They're taking it exactly how they're supposed to take it, because just like D-Lo said, it makes you sound like a gold digger. It literally makes you sound like a gold digger. It makes you sound like you only married this man because you knew he was a superstar. To say that you never means before you met him. Never means like legit. Before you met him, while you was with him, while you was pushing them babies out, while you was in this marriage with him, the whole nine. Saying that you never loved him is a crazy statement to make, knowing who Shaq is and knowing that what you became during this marriage, knowing that what you've gained after it, knowing that what Shaq has done, even though he's done his dirt. We're not saying that Shaq is devoid of accountability. We're not saying that, but
and he's taking accountability for it, like you said.
He is 100%. He's taking accountability for it, but it's one of those things where go ahead. Let me finish. It's one of those things where, and I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna stand on it, D-Lo. It's one of those things where what Shaq did is indefensible, but this statement is worse than that to me, bro. To me, this statement is worse than that, dog. Because yes, Shaq was he was out there in them streets, but to say that you never loved him, that's worse to me. That's worse, bro. I wouldn't have took this the same way Shaq did. Me personally, I wouldn't have took this the same way Shaq did. If I would have did my dirt and I was cheating and I admitted to it, cool. But for me to hear, how long have they been divorced? I can't even remember. But they
got divorced in 2009, almost 10 years. I want to say more than 10 years. I want to say.
Okay, so I'm gonna look.
They were married 9 years. I don't know time frame. I think they got married 2011. So they got married in 2002. I want to say, and then they were married 9 years. So 2011 is when they got divorced.
2011. You're right. Yeah. You're right. 2011. So I don't think I would have felt the same. I don't think I would have handled this the same way Shaq did, honestly, if I would have heard 13 years later that you never loved me. Mm-hmm. I would have felt.
I mean, what could you do though?
There's nothing you can do, but that it would piss me off. And behind closed doors, probably Shaq is probably like, well, goddamn, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. But since he's such a public figure, he has to handle it in a certain way, which I respect. But I wouldn't have handled it the same way. Because I wear my emotions on my sleeve, bro. Like, I'm gonna tell you how I feel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I'm going.
But you probably wouldn't do it publicly, though.
I wouldn't. If she did it publicly, I probably would, to be spiteful, if I'm being real. But I'm not a spiteful person, so I don't think I would. I don't know. But I think it would. I think me personally, I would feel a lot more hurt than what Shaq is showing.
Yeah.
And I think I might show it a little bit more than what Shaq is. Yeah. But I respect Shaq for the way he's handling it. But me personally, bro, I would be like, dog, that's insane. Like, really? I probably wouldn't even put out the tweet that Shaq put out. I'll probably put out just the word "really" with a bunch of question marks. Really?
Yeah. I mean,
you know what I'm saying? Like, that's probably all I would say, and then let people, decode it from there. But at the same time, it's like, bruh, that would have hurt. That would have hurt me. I ain't gonna lie. That would have hurt me.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying it wouldn't have hurt. That's not what I'm saying. I just question really what would me or any of us going basically back and forth with somebody that we divorced 13 years ago prove that they're the one, they're the one that's looking crazy right now.
For sure.
Well, to the public, they're looking crazy. Maybe to them, it is what it is. Like I said, she got half his wealth, even though his wealth has increased since the divorce as well. But she got half his wealth. She got money, and she's married again. So but I don't know. It's hard to say how you would feel until you're in that situation. I tend to think I would be like Shaq, but again, I don't know. I don't know.
I was just doing the math in my head, but because you said that her settlement was $100K per month of child support,
$100K per month for child support. She got $5 million a year until she was
$100 million or got married.
Yes.
Okay. So I think she just got married to this new guy, the pastor. I think last year. I think. And then okay, so she didn't do what I thought she did, because in my mind I'm like, it's been 13 years. Okay, she didn't do that. Like, I thought she, didn't waited that 20 years out until she got that $100 million, but she didn't do that. Okay, respect, Shaunie, I guess. Yeah, but you still got $65 million though. We ain't doing the math around here too complex. But at the same time. It's been a couple of reports too that her now current husband is kind of shady too, but we're not gonna talk about him because he ain't a part of this. But I'm just saying what the public saying. But yeah, man,
they said it, not us.
They said it, not us. We ain't said that.
We would never.
They said that. I did though. But nah, I shout out to Shaq, man, because talking through this with my boy D-Lo, it made me realize that I'm a lot more sensitive than I thought I was, because I wouldn't have handled this like Shaq. I would have been a lot more emotional. But just like D-Lo said too, what can we do? It's been 13 years. What can we really do? What can we really say that would change anything? You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing we can say, nothing we can do. So fuck it, really. But Shaunie is out here looking real dumb, man. People are looking at her like, okay, now you was a gold digger. You was a gold digger. Because that statement is crazy. Oh,
it's crazy.
But the statement shows that was her plan all along.
I don't think. That is the perception. I don't think that was her plan. I'm hoping that wasn't her plan. But yeah, it's definitely the perception now. It's like, yo, this is what your end goal was. To do all this
because you marry a man that you don't love. You had one kid out of wedlock, so did he. Y'all brought that together. Okay, cool. You married a man that you don't love, and then proceeded to have 3 more kids with a man that you don't love.
Mm-hmm.
That has gold digger written all over it, bro.
You can't, but that happens all the time, though, right? Like, take the money out of it. Women have babies with men that they don't love all the time. It just happens.
But 9 times out of 10, they're not married, D-Lo.
I get that. No, I understand that. But I'm saying women have kids, men have kids with individuals they don't love all the time. So that's not okay. To me. Yeah. To me, that's not a factor of saying, you not loving him. I just think,
Okay, well, I'll leave it at this. if you didn't love him, then why did you marry him in the first place? I'll just leave it at that. I'll just leave it at that.
That's
I'll just leave it at that. But it does look even crazier that you married a man that you didn't love and then proceeded to have 3 kids with him. That does look even crazier.
It does look even crazier. I'm not saying I don't disagree with you, but I'm playing devil's advocate here. Like, you don't agree. No, I do agree. I'm not saying that. You got me confused.
You said that I'm not saying that I don't disagree. That's why. You said I'm not saying.
Yeah, I'm saying that. I'm saying that I'm not saying that I'm not in agreeing with you. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm not saying. Right.
Yeah. For sure.
But I'm playing devil's advocate. Like, this happens all the time. People have babies that they don't love the other person. It's just something happened. But 3 times is crazy though. I will say you do have a point with that. 3 times is crazy, but I mean, if you marry, you might as well, right?
But why marry him in the first place if you don't love him?
So there you go. That's
what we need to stay. That's what we need to stay at. We need to keep it right there. But yeah, this story is wild. This story is wild because I hope to God, and you know what? I'm not even gonna say that. I'm not even gonna say it because that's gonna make somebody mad. I'm not saying that. Oh, you think I love you? Nah, I'm not gonna say that.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't want to be in this situation because I would be emotional. Because I took like Too Complex family. Y'all know I wear my heart on my sleeve, and y'all gonna know exactly how I feel about a lot of things. I would be emotional, and I wouldn't say I would lash out at her, but I would talk my shit.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have handled this like Shaq. Just being real.
Yeah. Well, you ain't Shaq, so.
Man, I ain't got his money either. Shaq, if you see this, support the channel. If you see this, support the channel. But moving on to another Shaq topic, man. D-Lo talked about the rap beef earlier in the podcast.
Just the beef in general.
In the episode. Just beef in general. But rap beef has been like diss tracks have been crazy this year. Mm-hmm. So if you didn't know, Shaq did an interview with Nikola Jokic, the center for the Denver Nuggets, after he won his 3rd MVP, 3rd in 4 years. Congratulations to Nikola Jokic.
Yep.
And he said that with all the Shaq, I'm paraphrasing, but Shaq in so many words said, I respect your game, but all due respect to you, I think SGA, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, should have won the MVP. But, I'm, putting you in the dominant big man alliance, yada, yada, yada. He was talking to Nikola Jokic, doing an interview with him after he won the MVP. Shannon Sharpe goes on Nightcap with Ocho Cinco and says that Shaq is jealous. Shaq is envious of these guys. Let me see if I can find the real quote real quick while I'm introing this. But in so many words, he was just saying that he said, I have no problem with Shaq, but what he said, I'm ready to move on. Basically. Well, hold on. That's just after.
That's after
the beef. He says, okay, Shannon Sharpe, who didn't agree with O'Neal's comments, shared his point on the podcast Nightcap that he believes, who has only one MVP trophy from his Hall of Fame career, was partially envious of that, referring to Jokic's longer list of MVP accolades. He said, your demeanor is faker than... I'm fucking this up. But he said he basically Shannon Sharpe was like, yeah, you envious of the fact that Jokic got 3 MVPs, you only got 1, and if you took care of your body a little bit more, you probably would have more, and you'd be seen as more dominant, and seen as one of those GOAT in that GOAT conversation. And also, if you had my work ethic, Shaq, you would probably have a better career. Shaq puts out a diss track. He goes first. He goes on Instagram, on social media, and puts out this response to what Shannon Sharpe shared, and then puts out a diss track. D-Lo, was Shaq correct in his response, or was this petty, basically?
So I think Shaq has the right to feel however he felt about Shannon Sharpe's comments. However, the basis of Shannon Sharpe's comments is because of what you said earlier. He was on national television the night Nikola Jokic won his 3rd MVP, saying that he didn't think he deserved the MVP award. So, I mean, that was the basis of his of what Shannon Sharpe said. And to the outsider looking in, if you being real with yourself, that does seem kind of envious. That seems jealous. Sure. Whether Shaq was defending Shai Gilgeous-Alexander or not, saying that he probably deserved it more than Nikola Jokic, that's neither here nor there. You could have said that comment at a different setting, but you decided to say it on national television. Now, being the fact that Shannon Sharpe said what he said about what Shaq said to Nikola Jokic, as far as if he had the work ethic like me, he would probably have scored 40,000 points in his career. I mean, Shaq has the right to feel how he wants to feel, because you basically, that comment, if he had my work ethic, is basically saying I'm better than you. And if you would have listen, and if you would have did if you would have did the things that I did, rather than trying to live this playboy life or, you know, be out partying this and there, take care of your body, then the career would have went differently. You would have had more MVPs. I mean, that's like me saying to you, Sticks, you played professional football. Let's just say I did as well. I played a different sport. Let's say I played professional baseball. And we have the same amount of championships. You have MVPs. You're more better known than I am, but you know, I just had a longer career, so to speak. I don't know, a more productive career in the time of years, in the years that I played. And then I say something of this extent as like, yeah, Sticks, if you would have had my work ethic, you would have played 20 years in the National Football League or something of the sort.
But let me stop you. Because if I'm in the public telling people that I didn't take care of my body, I didn't take it as seriously as I should have, I didn't work out as much as I probably could, I ate crazy, and you were reportedly saying that I was around a bunch of women doing my thing. Like if I'm telling you publicly that I didn't take it seriously as I probably could have to be more dominant, I would have agreed with you. But that's just me though. I can't talk for Shaq. But me personally, if you tell me, if you had my work ethic, you would have did the things that I did and been more serious about it, you would have had a greater career. I'd be like, you know what, you're right. Because I already done said, yeah, I didn't take it seriously. So me personally, I'd be like, yeah, you're right, D-Lo. You're right.
Yeah, but it's one thing for somebody that you fool with say that. But if it's coming from somebody that
I fool with you.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
I have the emotional intelligence to say, yeah, D-Lo, you're right, because I already done told you I didn't take it serious. I already told you I ate crazy. I didn't work out.
Let's change that scenario then. Let's say the same accolades for another individual you don't know whatsoever says the exact same thing.
Then I'm going to say, who the fuck is you?
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Obviously, like Shaq definitely deserves to feel how he felt about the comments, but because it came from Shannon Sharpe, no, I'm sorry. He deserves to feel how he felt about it. But if you go on TV and say to another individual in their moment of glory that they didn't deserve it, then the repercussions that come behind that is like, you deserve those comments that you got as well. On top of the fact that you critique other individuals and their performances on a night in and night basis during the play NBA basketball season. So if somebody says something about you, you got to be able to take that as well. I just think the egos, we're all about egos, bro. And I know I'm going long, but we're all about egos. Like we let our egos get in the way of just us. I wouldn't say living in harmony, because that's never going to happen. You're always going to have disagreements with somebody. Like it's just inevitable. But we let our egos get in the way because of either who we are, our status, the money we have, so on and so forth. So I mean, long story short, Shaq is entitled to feel how he felt because of the comments that came from it. But I don't think he should have went as far as to like make a diss track.
Go on social media, talk
about money and whatnot. Like that shit get corny, bro. Like we all know y'all got money. Both of y'all have money. So you saying I got more money than you and all that stuff, bro, okay, you got money. You make more than 99% of the the population on the world. Okay, we get it. Try something else.
Yeah, man. I do honestly think that Shaq's response to it, because and if I'm being real with you, I kind of agreed with Shaq, because I didn't think Jokic deserved it either. I'm on the podcast on record saying that I thought that Luka deserved the MVP. I'm on record saying that, and then Jokic wins, and I'm like, okay, well, I mean, whatever. I'm not gonna come out and say he ain't deserved it, because he had an amazing career. I just think somebody else deserved it more than he did. No, season, career, for sure, correct, season. But
he has had a good career though.
He has had a good career, but I kind of agree with Shaq. I don't think it should have been Shea, but I thought it should have been Luka. So I don't think I would have said that to Nikola Jokic. I don't think I would have said that to him if I was in Shaq's. If I was in Shaq's situation, I don't think I would have said that. But I agree with Shaq. I think Luka should have got it, me personally. But I think Shaq was. It was real sensitive, and it was really emotional that you're gonna come out and again, he just like D-Lo said, he deserves to feel the way he feels, but at the same time, bro, like it's childish. It's real childish, because just like Shaq deserves to feel the way he feels, Shannon deserves to have his opinion about what you said and what you did. You know what I'm saying? So like, but to go on and make a diss track that was corny, by the way. Yeah, it was whack. It was whack to me, bro.
Yeah, I mean, history is written down. History has shown that Shaq, and he has admitted that, like you said, like he didn't take it as seriously as he probably could have.
Yeah,
he didn't take care of his body as he could have, and if he had been, or if he had done that, then he would have had a better career. He probably could have had 40,000 points. He probably would have more MVPs. Maybe even, he would have had more championships. You know what I mean? Because he's played with some stellar individuals. I think the championship he got in Miami was like his last real productive year with D Wade, and they were able to get a championship out of that. But he played with LeBron. Wasn't that, he played with the big three. Wasn't it? Didn't he play with the big three in Boston?
Nah, he was after that. They was already in Brooklyn at that point. That's when he ended his career, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought he played with the big three. I could be wrong though. But he played with these stellar individuals, these high caliber NBA players in his career, along with Kobe, as you know, where he won 3 championships with in a three-peat. So I don't know, man. I feel like because it came from Shannon Sharpe, who has recently, the last couple of years, really made a name for himself. Probably the number one podcast out right now, the most viewed interview podcast
you're right.
on YouTube.
He did play with them.
He played with the big three?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you take all that into consideration because of who it came from. And he said he doesn't really know Shannon Sharpe like that. He felt some type of way, even though everything he said probably is true. But when somebody essentially questions your manhood, you're gonna say something back to him. I don't care who it is, if it's your boy or not. If I said it was true, if I said it before, but then you publicly say it to open up that wound again, I'm gonna feel some type of way.
I agree.
I got a question though. I'm interested in what Shaq meant by "Don't forget, I know what you did to get to where you are" when responding to Shannon. Like, what did Shannon Sharpe do to get to where he is?
I don't think he did nothing. I think that was for effect, honestly. But yeah. I think he's trying to go with the rap beef kind of like aura to say, oh, if you come back and say something, I got more for you, like the Kendrick, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. I'll get to that later type of rap beef.
Right.
I don't think Shannon did nothing crazy. I mean, if he got some skeletons in the closet, he got some skeletons in the closet. That's his business. But
right.
I don't think he did nothing crazy. But I guess, if the beef keep on, I guess we'll see. We'll report it right here live on 2 Complex.
Yeah, I think it's done with though. I think they said what they needed to say, and
for sure,
Shannon Sharpe, he doesn't want any issues with individuals that he discuss because he has a job to do. He's again the top podcast out right now. So,
oh yeah,
he doesn't want to jeopardize getting to a back and forth with somebody when it's not really necessary. And I don't think he meant any. When you're doing stuff like it, sometimes you get into it and you say stuff that you're trying to convey a message, and this is going to tie back into what Shaunie said. But she wrote it in a book, so she could have proofread that and said that's not really what I want to say. But when you're actually speaking in real time, your thoughts, sometimes that filter doesn't kick in quite well. And so I don't think Shannon Sharpe necessarily meant anything bad by what he was saying. He wasn't being malice in his thought, but because of the nature of what he has gone through in the first couple of months of the year, everybody now saying he's messy because of the type of interviews that he does. He just allows people to talk. It came across as he's trying to take shots at Shaq. And I don't think he was actually trying to take shots at Shaq. I think he was just saying, you seem envious. And Gilbert Arenas even said it, like he wants to be apex predator when it talked about the big men in the history of the game. And so you seem envious when the night the man won the MVP, you say he shouldn't have won it.
He shouldn't have won it. Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
Yeah.
That is.
But that's all I'll say about that.
Moving on, man. Bronny has been in the news, bro. Bronny James has been in the news. There's been a lot of reports about Bronny James, and for good reason, if I'm being completely honest. We all know what his stats were whenever he was at USC. He didn't have the best freshman year. 5 points, 3 assists, 2 rebounds, a steal. It wasn't a stellar freshman season for Bronny James. He ends the freshman season and says that he's putting himself, he's declaring for the draft, but also putting himself in the transfer portal. We get to the draft combine, and Bronny's been showing out. Just keeping it 100. Bronny been showing out. 40-inch vertical, great first day, you know what I'm saying, with the agility drills, shooting drills, and the first scrimmage he ain't do too well, but the second scrimmage he showed out low key. He shot himself up from the 98th overall prospect from an undrafted player to a late second round player just in these couple of days from the NBA combine. D-Lo, how do you feel about, number one, Bronny actually going into the combine and actually showing out? And do you think he should be drafted? And then number two, should somebody draft him to potentially intercept LeBron James?
So as far as him going into the combine, showing out, and should he be drafted, I think this makes it, his performance at the combine makes it an easier pill to swallow for whoever decides to draft him. And ultimately, well, we'll get in that later. So yeah, it makes it easier for whoever decides to draft him. But I still stand on the fact that I feel like he should go back to college, and he's not really NBA ready. That's just my opinion. We all know I'm a LeBron James fan. I think Bronny is a good kid. I think he has great athleticism, all of that. But this to me is no different than an NFL combine where you have a no name or a late projected pick that goes to the combine, runs a 4.2, does well in the drills, and he shoots up to the
lottery
late
pick.
Second round or a lottery pick, right? Where he's getting more money, he's probably guaranteed to make the team.
Darius Hayward Bay.
Exactly. And so he'll have flashes in the games if he is drafted to where he'll be good, but ultimately it doesn't really work out. I just think Bronny needs to go back to school and develop a little bit more skills. Because I felt like coming out of high school that he wasn't a one and done. I said it on the podcast. I don't think he's a one and done.
I think I said that he was going to be one and done regardless. I think I agree with you and said that he didn't need to be a one and done, but he was going to be just because of somebody's going to pick him to get LeBron in the lottery too. So yeah.
I mean, you got to think about it. He's just 1 year removed, literally 1 year removed, right, from
the heart situation.
Or it'll be in a couple months, it'll be 1 year removed from the heart condition scare that we had with him. He was on a minutes restriction. He didn't do that well. I mean, numbers wise, you would say he didn't do that well. If you take Bronny James off of him and put John Wilson in there, people are laughing that he's leaving to go to the NBA.
Mm-hmm.
But because his name is Bronny James, he's getting looked at. And you know, if that works for you, it works for you. And if you get drafted, you get drafted. You can say you lived out your dream to be in the NBA, and hopefully when you get there, you are able to show out. But I think he will get drafted, to answer that question. But I don't think he's NBA ready. But that's just me. As far as somebody will pick him up to intercept or to get LeBron James on his team, I think LeBron is playing his cards how he always plays his cards. He's waiting to see what happens with Bronny to decide if he wants to, if he hasn't already. I don't think he has re-signed with the Lakers yet, but apparently they want to offer him a large contract. Mm-hmm. And they said it's been said that the Lakers are willing to draft Bronny, which again, it don't mean just like I hope they don't draft. I hope they don't make JJ Redick their coach. I hope they don't draft Bronny.
That would legit be two mistakes. I agree. That would be two mistakes.
And that would, for me, I mean, okay, we know Bron has power. We know it. We know Bron has power. Mm-hmm. But it continues to play into the Bron James narrative of he forces situations in the organizations that he's involved with, and then decimates the team, and then he moves on and goes somewhere else. Well, in this case, he'll retire. And I don't. But anyway, long story. I think Bron is playing his cards, waiting to see what happens with Bronny, and then if Bronny is drafted, because the draft happens next month, he'll then make his decision on what he wants to do, whether he signs back with the Lakers or he decides to try to get to where Bronny is so he can be on the team with him. Yeah, I mean,
yeah. I mean, so I'm gonna have another question after I say my part, but D'Lo said it correctly, man. I'm super proud of him to go into this, to have the confidence to go into this draft and perform the way he's been performing. He's been playing well in the scrimmages. He's been showing out in the drills. He's been going crazy. I do agree with that. Do I believe he should have stayed at USC for another year? Yes, or transferred to wherever he wanted to transfer to, whatever. Because I think isn't USC that conference is no longer a part of anything now, right? I think he, if I'm not mistaken, you know a little bit more about.
They're in the Big Ten. They're moving to the Big Ten.
They're moving to the Big Ten. Okay, all right. So I think he should have transferred or went back to school, played another season. But I don't blame him for feeling that he's ready, like he's chasing his dream. I don't blame him for that. Should another team intercept and try to get Bron at the same time? I think it's a good business decision. But would I draft him just to get Bron in year 22? Probably not. If I was a GM, I'll let the Lakers make that bad decision, and deal with LeBron James on their own, since that's who the team LeBron James is on. But I'm not making that decision. Now, my question to you is, D'Lo, we know the kind of season that he had at USC. There's another player who had a similar season in the NBA. Now, I know that the NBA is a different beast. They're the tippity top in the world. It's a different animal going from college to the pros. I know this very well. It's a way different animal going from the college to the pros. But do you think that Bronny James can be the next Patrick Beverley?
I mean,
career 8-point scorer, mid to high 30s in 3-point percentage, mid 40s in field goal percentage, a steal, just be that perfect role player to play good, because he said he loves to play defense. He said he prides himself on defense and being a great player all around. So can he be the next Patrick Beverley?
I don't know. I mean, Patrick Beverley, he has a role on various teams because of his defense. He's a nuisance on the court. Realistically, he's a good teammate. So when he's on your team, you love him, and when he's not, you hate him. I don't think Bronny has that same personality, and I think Patrick Beverley's personality has kept him in the league longer than he actually should be. And that's no hate to Patrick Beverley. So Pat, if you see this, that's not hate. That's no hate on you. But it says that you market yourself very well. But I think Bronny probably is more athletic than Patrick Beverley, so he could step into that role and or serve that role that Patrick Beverley does if he does love defense as he says he does. But I think I think he has to bring something else on the offensive side because of who he is, because of the name that he has on the back of his jersey. Whereas Patrick Beverley is not worried about that, doesn't care about that, and still get picked up. And I don't think a lot of teams are going to tolerate, if probably not the right word to put in that place, but tolerate that from Bronny. They're going to want some type of offensive production from him.
But I feel like, and I agree with you, nonetheless, that they're going to want something more from him just because of who he is on the court. I mean, who he is, who his dad is, the aura that's around the name James. They're gonna want more from him. I agree with that. But if you are a smart coach, like say one of the best coaches in the league, say like an Eric Spoelstra, right? If you're a smart coach, you're not going to expect that from LeBron, from Bronny James. If you're a Greg Popovich, you're not expecting that from Bronny James. You're not expecting anybody to be the next LeBron. You know what I'm saying? So if you're a smart GM, smart coach, you're gonna put Bronny in positions to make sure that his game is what's the word I'm looking for? It excels, for lack of a better word, excels in the way that it's supposed to. So me personally, I still stand on business and saying that he shouldn't be in the league. He shouldn't be drafted. He should develop some more skills and get some, he shouldn't be a one and done. I do agree with that part. But I believe he can be the next Patrick Beverley. Just go out there, play solid defense, be a great role player, and do what you need to do for the team, and hopefully the team will understand that you ain't your daddy. You know what I'm saying? You your daddy's son, but you not your daddy. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
but it's like I think he can be that type of player. I think he can be a Patrick Beverley, a Nicholas Batum. You know what I'm saying? One of those kind of players that can have good seasons, but is more of a role player that can give you solid minutes and be productive on the floor. I think he can be that player. 6 points a game, Bronny can score that. You know what I'm saying? Bronny can be that.
I think the Patrick Beverley comparison is a good one. Nicholas Batum
he's
probably
taller. Yeah.
So,
the production is what I was talking about.
Yeah. But I mean, with that being said, Nicholas Batum could probably guard more individuals than Patrick Beverley and Bronny James could.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. So, I mean, that's a good comparison. I think that's viable. That's viable for Bronny. And I'm not saying Bronny won't be good. I just feel like if he was somebody else, we wouldn't be talking about him.
Agreed.
Even being a draft pick, because they're going to look at him and say what he did in college doesn't say he's NBA ready. But, we've been proven wrong before, and I hope this is one of those cases as well. But time will tell, and we shall see.
But, I mean, he compared himself to people like Drew Holiday, Derek White, who those guys are a little bit, as far as production, they produce more than what I would expect Bronny to produce, like a 16 points per game, 37 from three, 46 from the field, 6 assists. I don't think Bronny's going to be that in the front end of his career. He could develop into that, but I don't think he's going to be that. Yeah. Same thing with, let me look up Derek White real quick. Look up Derek White. Derek White, for his career, 12 points, 37 from three, 45 from the field, 2 boards, 4 assists. So, like, I mean, he compares himself to these guys because of the production that they put on the court. They pride themselves on defense. They're really good defenders. 6-man type of, well, Drew started, but 6-man for like a Derek White type of guy. Like, that's the role that I can see Bronny in.
Yeah.
Having 8 point per game seasons, 1.2 steals a season, like averaging 1.2 steal, like a steal or two a season. Like, I can see that for Bronny. It depending on what system, who's coaching him, and not putting that expectation to be like your daddy. I can see Bronny doing that. I can honestly see Bronny doing that.
I think the little brother's better, but that's just me.
Oh, Bryce is dope. Bryce dope. Yeah, Bryce dope. I think, and Bryce is taller. I think ain't Bryce like 6'7"?
Yeah,
like
Bryce is,
like that.
Yeah.
So yeah, Bryce gonna be that one. I think Bryce gonna be that one. But I think Bronny will have a successful career in the NBA. I think will he play 15 seasons like Patrick Beverly and still going? Maybe, but we'll see.
Yeah. All right, Sticks, episode 66. Let's in the books, my boy.
Episode 66 in the books, my brother, man. We chugging along, man.
Chugging along. Maybe, we'll start to get some interviews here shortly as people we know stepping into the game. So we have to
feel me.
We have to give in a shout out Uncle Demi.
Shout out to Uncle Demi with
the Uncle Demi podcast. If you don't, go check that out. But yeah, man, thanks for tuning in to Too Complex. Remember that life is oftentimes complex. And but when it becomes too complex, don't be afraid to lean on those that you love the most to bring you simplicity and balance in life. Stay prayed up in this crazy world that we live in. A few requests thrown above can bring back peace and sanity. Thanks for supporting us and loving this podcast. It means the world to us. We're sending our love right back. Don't forget to subscribe on whatever podcast platform that you're listening to, and also to follow us on all of your social media platforms. That's YouTube, Instagram, and Threads. And then, as always, if it ain't too complex, it ain't complex at all. Until next time, we will see you when we see you. Salute.